Boy, in times like these, we need a solid, strong voice for truth and reason. And you can't get any better than St. Thomas Aquinas. St. Thomas Aquinas is a leading spokesman for the tradition of reason and divine revelation. He is called the Doctor of the Church and also known as the title of the angelic doctor. His parents set him at the age of 5 years old to the Benedictine monastery, and their hope was that after his education was complete that he would join a Benedictine and become an abbot. His family had a little bit of money, and that was a tradition for the well-to-do families to send their children to the monasteries, and hopefully they would become an abbess or an abbot at the head of the monastery. It was his parents' hope. He was also sent from the monastery to Naples to continue his education. Well, it was in Naples that he first learned about Aristotle's philosophy. In 1243, Thomas chose his path. He was not going to be a Benedictine. God was calling him to be a Dominican. There go his parents' dreams. Thomas's parents were angered, and he set his brothers out to forcibly kidnap Thomas from the Dominican monastery and bring him home. And they kept him a prisoner in his home for 1 year solid, constantly harassing him, tempting him, threatening him to do their will. When he was released at the end of 1 year, he had not changed his mind. God was calling him to be a Dominican. Given his freedom, he went to Paris and Cologne, and he finished studying under St. Albert the Great. Could you imagine St. Albert the Great and St. Thomas Aquinas in the same room? The brain power is incredible. So his contributions in writing were immense. He wrote many books, many papers, and one of the greatest was the Summa Theologica. This was his final book, and it wasn't really complete even at the end of his death. Thomas stopped his work at this point on 12/6/1273. When he was asked, "Why did you stop after all of these years, copious amounts of writing?" Thomas said, "I cannot go on. All that I have written seems to me as so much straw when I compare it to what I have seen and what I have had revealed to me by God." He died 3/7/1274. One of the things about Thomas is his mind, a little bit to get a glimmer on how brilliant he was, is that he would write 2 books at the same time, one with the right hand, one with the left hand, simultaneously writing books. His brain was smart enough that he could continue writing 2 different books at the same time, one with each hand. He was also known for his humility. One time, he would have been the brilliant one in the class, and but he remained quiet because he was humble, and he didn't always answer questions. And so he was given the nickname the Damax. He was larger than most students. He was a hefty guy. And there was one time that one of the seminarian students had to carry a large amount of heavy books quite a distance. It was too much for him to carry on his own. And so he asked Thomas to do it. "You're a big guy, help me carry these books." Well, as they were walking on the journey, this other seminarian was complaining why all he ever heard was this Thomas Aquinas. He didn't know who he was with, and why he was so brilliant, and don't they know that I'm the smarter one, and if anybody could give me a chance, surely I would prove that I am the brilliant one, and he is nothing but a Damax, as I've heard. Well, it wasn't until they got to where they were delivering the books that the abbot at that monastery opened the door and said, "Thomas, it's you, Thomas Aquinas." And the other monk was silenced because he never corrected him. He just listened to him, and he was agreeing, "Yeah, you're right, I am kind of dumb." And he never said, "Hey, that's me you're talking about." In his humility, he just took it as, in his stride. So that's really interesting. Another thing about his family is during this time of his captivity, it's documented that they went and got a woman of ill repute, um, and they put her naked into his room. He couldn't get out, he was locked in his room. Well, what a normal young man would have done, he didn't do. He rebuked her, and she pounded on the door, "Please free me from this man." He rebuked her, sent her away, never touched her. And then God gave him the gift of purity and chastity. So Thomas was never tempted again into sins of immorality. So that's something special too. So, yes, I'm going to talk more about things that St. Thomas talked about because, again, in these times, we have to remember where is truth? It's with God. God is truth, just like he proclaimed in front of Pilate. I am the truth, I am the way, and I am the life. So I hope you enjoyed that. He's fascinating. There's more things you could read about him, but yeah, St. Thomas Aquinas knew about the truth. Thank you.